2024 is shaping up to be one of the most exciting years in crypto. With massive institutional adoption, regulatory shifts, and new technologies on the horizon, the upcoming crypto bull market could be one of the biggest bull markets we have ever seen. And in this video, I'm going to share my top 10 bold predictions for this 2024 to 2025 bull market cycle. And I'm going to show you and share with you how you can capitalize on these massive opportunities. So stick around because you don't want to miss out on these predictions. And with that being said, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be putting out regular videos like this one where I break down complex topics in the world of crypto and investing, make them into easily digestible bits and pieces so that you can understand it and that you can prepare for everything that's coming up next so that you can maximize your gains in this crypto bull market cycle. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, make sure to smash the like button so I know that you're paying good attention and that you're ready to take advantage of this window of opportunity of this bull market cycle. And my goal is to help you to cross the finish line, and that's why I'm making videos like this one. So very quick disclaimer, nothing in this video is financial advice. This is just for educational purposes only. I'm sharing my research, my world perspectives, my perspective on the market, but please always do your own research before making any investment decision. That's super important. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let's dive in. My top 10 crypto predictions for this 2024-2025 bull market cycle. All right. So let's start with this first prediction. So my first prediction is that we're going to see more Bitcoin and crypto-backed financial products in the traditional financial system. Earlier this year, we saw the approval of the Bitcoin spot ETF by BlackRock and a few other large asset managers. And BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF broke all records of fastest growing ETF in history. Here you see a chart of ETFs. And here you see that the IBIT, so the BlackRock spot ETF, achieved $20 billion in assets under management in 137 days, way faster than the second ETF the second fastest ETF. So based on all of this hype, based on all of this excitement and success, we see Larry Fink, the founder and CEO of BlackRock. BlackRock is known as a company that owns the world. Currently, they have around $10 trillion worth of assets under management. He has become a quite open and outspoken spokesman for Bitcoin. And right now, he's going on many different media outlets preaching why Bitcoin and crypto are the future. And he's not the only one. There's many other institutions which are now coming out with their own Bitcoin and crypto-backed products. For example, BlackRock is coming out with a real-world asset tokenization fund. So basically meaning that they tokenize real-world assets like gold, real estate, art, all on the Ethereum blockchain. And they're trying to make a fund out of that and selling that to the masses. Of course, they understand that this is a very new market and they want to be the first ones to dominate all of that. So my estimate is that we are going to see a lot more of these Bitcoin and crypto-backed products in the traditional financial market, which is really great because we want to have all of those traditional dollars, those institutional dollars flow into the crypto market because that's really going to drive up the valuations and that's going to be really great for the adoption, especially when companies like BlackRock put their stamp of approval on the crypto space. That's really great for the maturity of the overall space. And that's what we want to see. So right now, BlackRock, world's largest fund manager, now manages nearly 370,000 Bitcoin. It has already surpassed MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings. MicroStrategy currently holds around 252,000 Bitcoin. And BlackRock is now the second largest holder. So the only two holders that hold more Bitcoin than BlackRock are Satoshi Nakamoto and the crypto exchange Binance. So that's very interesting. They're very, very bullish on Bitcoin. and I'm talking about BlackRock. BlackRock is super bullish on Bitcoin, and many other traditional asset managers out there are bullish on Bitcoin too. So that's a massive shift from the previous bull market cycles, because we have never seen these institutions getting involved in crypto so heavily as we're seeing this bull market cycle. Up till now, crypto has been primarily a retail dominated market, but now we're seeing that billions and trillions are probably going to go into Bitcoin and crypto because of all of these institutions. Now, let's move on to the second prediction. The rise of BRICS and de-dollarization. So it hasn't been a secret that in the past few years, a collective of countries, mainly the BRICS countries, so BRICS stands for a collaboration of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So these countries have formed a joint economic collaboration where their goal is to de-dollarize the world and to gain more financial power in the world. And actually, if you analyze some of the books like The Fourth Turning or The New World Order by Ray Dalio, you see that throughout history, you see all of these dominant empires like the Dutch Empire, the British Empire, Spanish Empire, Portuguese Empire, the United States Empire. Every 100 to 120 years, you see a new dominant world power, and then the world adopts their currency as the global reserve currency. And every 100 to 120 years, you see a shift in the world power. And right now, we might be seeing the first cracks in the dominance of the US and the US dollar as the world reserve currency. And here you see a tweet where the BRICS finance ministers gathered in Moscow, and each minister signed de-dollarization agreements. And now it's becoming real. They're taking real action, and they're basically attacking the dollar. Now, why is this important for crypto? Well, when the dollar loses its dominance, people will start to search for other safe havens where they can park their wealth. And I believe that Bitcoin is really well positioned in order to absorb a lot of that wealth and capital and to store it as a safe haven. So I think a de-dollarization is only very beneficial for an accelerated adoption of Bitcoin, which is going to pump the valuations even more. So I think this is not a great development for the US, but I do think it's a great development for Bitcoin and crypto in its entirety. The next prediction number 3, is that we're going to see the rise of the first big Bitcoin bank. So not that long ago, actually last week, Michael Saylor, the founder of MicroStrategy, the CEO of MicroStrategy, who has been buying up a lot of Bitcoin. Right now, they're holding 252,000 Bitcoin, and they have been accumulating Bitcoin since 2020, so around 4 years right now. And with all of that Bitcoin on their balance sheet, people were wondering like, hey, Michael Saylor, hey, MicroStrategy, what is actually your end game with all of these Bitcoin? And Michael Saylor came out last week and publicized his end game. And his end game is that he wants to build the world's leading Bitcoin bank. Its core business is to create Bitcoin capital markets and instruments covering stocks, convertible stocks, fixed income, and preferred stocks, providing powerful tools for inflation hedging and long-term value investing. So I believe there's a big gap in the market for a Bitcoin bank. And if there's someone that can execute on this, I believe it's Michael Saylor. When I first got into crypto, I really binge watched all of Michael Saylor's podcast, videos, all of his content, because I believe this is one of the most intelligent people in this space, and he truly, really understands Bitcoin and its potential, and you can learn so much from him. So I believe that in this boom market cycle, we're going to see a lot more from MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, and I believe that they're going to make massive moves towards building this leading Bitcoin bank. Next, we are going to see a lot of innovation in wallet technology. You see, Bitcoin is still very early in its adoption. The internet, if we look at the internet, there's a lot of parallels between Bitcoin and the internet adoption. Then we see that Bitcoin is following a very similar trajectory to the internet in terms of adoption. However, it took around 50 years for the internet to become mainstream adopted. So the internet was invented in the 1950s, and it wasn't until the 1990s or the early 2000s where it was mainstream. And everyone had a computer at home, was connected to the internet. And now people can barely function without the internet. Everyone has a phone with Google Maps or with WhatsApp, social media, and they can barely exist without the internet. So I believe that in order for technology to become mainstream adopted, it needs to be very easy for the average person to interact with that technology and to reap its benefits. And up till now, Bitcoin and crypto has been very technical. You need to do a lot of researching. You need to overcome a lot of hurdles. You need to make a MetaMask wallet, a ledger. Like, if you are not technical, let's say that you are 50, 60, 80 years old, it's going to be very hard for you to transact in crypto and to understand what is really going on. But now we're seeing that all of these crypto companies are trying to make this as easy as possible for the average person to interact and transact and hold crypto. So we're seeing the next generation of wallets. So this is a wallet introduced by Ledger with a touchscreen, a big display, making it even easier for you to transact in crypto. So I believe that's going to open up even more possibilities to new groups of people to enter the market. And the more people enter the market, the more money will flow in the market, the higher the valuation within the crypto market will get. So that's very positive as well. The fifth prediction is I believe that we are going to see more regulatory clarity. Up till now, crypto has been quite a gray zone. It hasn't been very clear what is and is not allowed in the crypto space. We've seen the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, attack quite a lot of crypto projects, for example, Ripple, but we've also seen them attack Ethereum, and they keep on flip-flopping between what is allowed and what isn't allowed, and this is making a lot of crypto investors, but also crypto founders very anxious, and many of them are even considering moving out of the US, moving towards, for example, the Middle East, the UAE, where they're very crypto friendly, or Singapore. But I believe with the next presidential cycle, especially if Donald Trump gets elected, I do believe that we are going to start to see more clarity around regulations in the crypto space. And that's what we want. We want all of this uncertainty to go away, because when uncertainty goes away, then people will start to allocate more dollars and investment to this industry. And that's going to be overall great for the innovation, the growth, the maturity of this industry. So right now, for example, we are right before the elections, and of course, Trump is known as the pro-Bitcoin president, so he made announcements like, I'm going to fire Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, because he has been very unfair towards the crypto industry, and he's going to install someone that's a lot more favorable towards the crypto industry in that position. The Democrats have someone called Elizabeth Warren, and Elizabeth Warren up till now has been very anti-crypto, putting very tight regulations around the crypto space, almost choking crypto investors out of their holdings and out of their hope. So we want to see people like Elizabeth Warren go away, or almost get silenced, or getting more nuance in their perspective on crypto, and we want to see more favorable people enter the space who understand the importance that rather than trying to scare crypto away, it is becoming an unstoppable force, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gained so much momentum despite the fact that governments were against it, banks were against it, institutions were against it, and the mass media was against it. Still, it went from being worth less than $1 to being worth tens of thousands of dollars. And it will continue to keep on growing. And resilience, like all of the attacks that Bitcoin has faced and how the community was able to deal with those attacks, is one of its biggest strengths. But if we get such a strong community and put it in a very favorable environment, then it will flourish even more and more. So I think that's going to be one of the developments that we're going to see. Next, My next prediction is, I believe in this crypto bull market cycle, we are going to see a massive boom in the crypto mining industry. Previous bull market cycle, crypto miners generated $16.7 billion of revenue in just a single year. At that time, Fortune magazine published an article stating that Bitcoin mining was suddenly one of the most profitable businesses on the planet. And really, the whole thing with Bitcoin mining is you can almost compare it to mining gold. You invest in special machines that turn electricity into Bitcoin. And the lower your cost of electricity and the lower your cost of your machines and the higher the price of Bitcoin goes, the more profitable mining becomes. And generally during bull market cycles, we see that many of these miners are literally printing tons and tons of money on autopilot with their mining machines. So I believe Bitcoin miners are preparing to see another record year of profits in this bull market cycle. And if you're curious how all of this works, well, I just created a brand new training in which I explain how you can create your own profitable Bitcoin mining farm and how you can take advantage of this Bitcoin mining boom. Check out the links in the comments, the links in the description below where I linked this brand new training. If you're curious, go and check it out. I believe it's a very interesting time right now in the market where you can position yourself to take advantage of everything that is about to come next. Let's continue to my next prediction. My next prediction is that we are probably going to see Bitcoin payments being integrated in a lot more e-commerce channels. So in the previous bull market cycle, we saw that Tesla suddenly started to adopt Bitcoin as a payment method for their cars. I believe this was a genius move by Tesla. A bit later, like around 1 year later, they halted these Bitcoin payments because they believed that a lot of Bitcoin was mined in a not sustainable way, so non-green energy sources. And Elon Musk said to the public, when Bitcoin miners are running on more than 50% green energy, they're going to consider accepting payments in Bitcoin again for their Tesla cars. And actually, right now, we have surpassed that mark. So the Bitcoin mining space is now running on 56% green energy. So Mr. Musk, it's time to start accepting Bitcoin again. But hey, regardless if Tesla is going to accept Bitcoin again, we already see that many other companies are already embracing Bitcoin as a valid payment method for their goods and services. And throughout this crypto market cycle, I believe we're only going to see more of that happening as well. So let's go to my 8th prediction, which is the CBDs are going to be launched. And I believe that in this process, they're going to face a lot of resistance. Here on my screen, you see a map of all of the countries that are involved in CBDCs. You can see there's 3 countries that already launched their CBDCs. We see 44 countries that are running pilots. We see 20 countries that have it in development, including the US, 39 countries which are currently researching it, etc. So if you look at this map, you see that quite a lot of countries are considering CBDCs and have already made the first steps towards implementation. And me, I'm someone that really values my own privacy, that really values my own freedom and sovereignty. And I do believe that these CBDCs are going to be a very big attack on my own freedom. And I think it's a very dystopian concept. Banks and governments already have a lot of control over what we can or cannot do with our money. And now with CBDCs, it's only going to get worse. So I believe that buying Bitcoin, for example, could be one of the greatest hedges against these CBDCs, because no one can tell me what I can or cannot do with my Bitcoin. As long as there will be Bitcoin miners, you will be able to freely transact with Bitcoin. The whole point of Bitcoin is to create a decentralized peer-to-peer payment network without the need of intermediaries like banks, governments, or notaries that need to approve your payments. So yeah, I do believe that CBDCs will come into existence very soon. My 9th prediction is that more countries are going to start to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. a few years ago, El Salvador announced to the world that they were going to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. If you don't know what legal tender is, it basically implies that if you go to El Salvador, you can now officially use Bitcoin as an official payment method. So you can go into shops, restaurants, hotels, and you can pay with Bitcoin. And also El Salvador started to buy 1 Bitcoin every single day. And this had a very positive impact on the growth of El Salvador as a country. In fact, because of their Bitcoin holdings and all of their gains that they have generated through this, they don't need to borrow any more outside money in order to fund their economic growth. So this has been one of the biggest miracles, economic miracles for El Salvador. They really turned around from one of the most poorest countries in the world and one of the highest crime rates to becoming one of the safest countries and really improving their economic position in the world as well. And based on this case study of El Salvador, I do believe that we're also going to see other countries adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender and as a strategic reserve asset as well. And I do believe that one of those countries that is well positioned to also adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender is Argentina. Argentina recently got a new president, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗹, and he is very against all of the traditional rules and regulations of the previous Argentinian government. So his goal is to connect the Argentinian economy back to the US dollar. Because there was such high inflation, there was such high money printing, they were so extremely in debt. But he's also considering adopting crypto and Bitcoin. He seems to be one of those presidents that has a very innovative approach, doesn't really care about what happened in the past, but wants to look into the future and wants to embrace new strategies. He's known for this very great quote: "If printing money could end poverty, then printing diplomas could end stupidity." Of course, this is sarcasm, basically meaning that money printing will not solve any issues. And the whole thing about Bitcoin is there's a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoin. You cannot create any more Bitcoin than that. So there's a very hard supply. And for someone that doesn't believe in money printing, well, you can almost connect the dots. Then Bitcoin could be something that really resonates with such a president. And recently in 2024, not that long ago, we had a conference called Bitcoin 2024, where President Donald Trump went on stage and also announced that if he would become a president, he would consider adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. And we only need one or a few big countries that are going to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender or strategic reserve asset. And probably then we're going to see a whole wave of countries that are also going to adopt it, which probably means that they're going to print a ton of fiat money in order to acquire Bitcoin, which will bring in more dollars and more fiat money into the crypto space, driving up the prices, driving up the valuations, which is generally good for holders. Finally, I believe that we will see a Bitcoin price of somewhere between 150K to 200K in the mid 2025. I base this on different valuation models. If you want to check out my reasoning, I recently posted a video on my YouTube channel called 5 Simple Ways to Predict How High Bitcoin is Going in this bull market cycle. And in the video, I break down different valuation models, including the stock to flow model, but also the power law model. I looked at the previous ratios between tops and bottoms. And I believe one of the most dominant models in the industry right now is the Bitcoin power law model. This model even predicts that in this bull market cycle, we could see a 343K Bitcoin. I do always believe that it's better to be a little bit more conservative than over optimistic. So that's why I am placing myself somewhere between 150K to 200K. Based on those assumptions, I'm creating my calculations. And I do believe there's a lot of models that are backing up the possibility that a Bitcoin price like this could happen. So overall, I'm very bullish. I have a very positive outlook. I do see a lot of signs of adoption of new players entering the market. And I'm really curious to hear your perspective based on my top 10 predictions. Which one of these predictions do you believe that will also happen? Or which one of these predictions was most shocking or most resonating with you that you also believe is going to happen in this bull market cycle? So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to make regular videos like this one where I break down everything that's going on in the crypto market to help you to get an edge as an investor and to help you to cross the finish line, because within the crypto space, so few people actually make money. Everyone is talking about how they're going to become super rich in this bull market cycle, but in reality, 90 to 95% of people lose money. Why? Because they've got no clue what is actually happening. And by watching videos like this one, you actually stay informed, you educate yourself, you grow as an investor, and that's so important. Warren Buffett has this famous quote: the more you learn, the more you earn. I do believe that many people enter the crypto space without getting proper education about what's going on in the market. And that's why it's so important to subscribe to my channel and to watch my videos, because every week I'm trying to put out 3 high quality videos to help you to get an edge. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video in particular. If you did, make sure to hit the like button so I know that you got good value out of it. And that being said, peace out. I'll see you in the next one.